Okay, let's start this album TD tutorial by creating a new album. The first step is to select Album, New Album at the main menu. You will be prompted to enter a file name for your album and to select the folder where you wish to save the album database. I'm selecting Documents now. Then you have to input the album size. Please take in mind that album size should include any margin. Usually, binder will trim out half centimeter per each side. Then for a 40 by 20 centimeter album, you have to input 41 and 21 centimeter. If you're working in inches, please select inches and then input the equivalent. Let's say 16.5 by 8.5. And a quarter inch for each side. Center guide is only needed if your album doesn't lay flat on the table. If there is a space in the middle of the spread where the pictures are not seen completely, then you have to input a center guide. Otherwise, let it be 0. Now you can input separation between images for design and a vertical margin and horizontal margin. This is only a design margin, not a security margin like the above one. Finally, click at Save and Close. Let's start our first spread by dragging some images into it. Just select them from the panel at bottom. You may keep pressing Shift or just select different ones by pressing Ctrl and then clicking at the images and drag them into the spread at the middle, at this plus icon. Drop them and a new layout will be created, a new spread. You may change the layout by selecting a different one at the Layouts panel at bottom. Just select it and click. Once the spread has been designed, you may swap images on it by selecting an image, pressing Alt or the Option key in your Mac, and dragging into another image. Both images are swapped. But you may also change one image in the spread with another one at bottom by just dragging the image from bottom into the matched spread. If you want to insert an image between two others, take it from the bottom panel and put it between two images or aside from one image, and then you will see a red bar. Drop it, and the space of the previous two images is now used by the new 3 images. This will change the layout, but only by inserting the image at the middle. Of course, you may continue changing the layout by selecting a different one from bottom. And if you want to add an image without changing the design, just a free design image, drag it from bottom into this one little icon at top, the plus signed icon. This is a free image added to the design. You may place it anywhere in this spread without changing the previous design. If you want to add some more images to the spread, just select them from the panel at bottom, press the Option key or Alt, and then drag them into an empty space in the spread. Of course, the layout will change to accommodate space for the new images. If you want to replace all these images by new ones, select them again from the bottom, and now drag them but without pressing Alt or the Option key. And it will make a new spread for only these pictures. To change the size of an image, press Shift and drag. Or use this loop icon here at bottom of the contextual icon bar and then drag. To reposition the image in his own layer, press Command or Control and drag, or use the arrow icon in the contextual menu. But if you want to change the layer size of a picture, select this layer and drag from the corner or the sides to change the whole layer size, or just drag with the point of your mouse to place it in a different position. Album TD includes magnetic alignment. This means if you are near to the location of another image, a blue line will appear and it works like a magnet. It ends to align automatically both images. Here you can see the blue line at the bottom. It's an easy way to just automatically align images. You may select a couple of images and drag them to put them in a different position and also to center them. You can see the blue lines once the collection of images are centered in the design. These green lines will be blue once the design is centered. If you want to delete an image, you may use the contextual menu here, the trash icon, or just select the image and press delete in your keyboard. Another option is to use this icon here, the last one, to empty the spread. Okay, let's continue by dragging some images to our spread. We have a new design. And Album TD includes a grid mode. In the grid mode, you can see all spreads together. Press Ctrl N to add a new sheet, and if you press it twice, you will get a small window to import the number of spreads you want for your album. Let's say we want 10 spreads. Album TD will create 10 spreads for your album, one already designed and 9 new ones. Now you can drag images from your bottom line into the spreads to continue designing your album. It's really fast to design an album this way, with full control. You may change the size of the thumbnails in the grid mode by pressing Ctrl or Command plus and Ctrl or Command minus. And you may select an image in one of the spreads and swap it with another image in the same or a different spread just by dragging it. Drag it over another image and both images will be swapped. If you want to change the order of the spreads in the album, select the spread, press Ctrl or Command and drag the spread to the new position. A red bar will appear showing the new spread position, and the other spreads will be reordered. Double click to go back to the edit mode. You may change from spread to spread. At the bottom spreads panel, just click on a new spread, or by using the arrows for left and right at the main design area, also available in the main menu. Next spread, previous spread. Okay, let's speak now about backgrounds. In Album TD, you may change the color background, the background color, by assigning a different color for the left part and the right part. Click at the left part and assign a color. This part will be black and this one white, or you may make both the same color. You may also use this eyedropper and select a color from the images itself for the background. Click, and this background color will be assigned for the whole spread. You may add a background from the Backgrounds panel. Drag it into the design, and you may change the size by pressing Shift or using the integrated loop and dragging. You may change the position by using Command or the arrow icon. You may change background opacity or apply a different hue and saturation and make the background from a different color. Almost infinite possibilities. Let's remove the background now. Okay, and return to the original color. With Album TD, you may also use masks. Click at the mask icon at bottom and just drag a mask into one of the pictures in the design. This will mask your picture. If you want to replace this mask with a different one, just drag the new over the old. And if you want to remove the mask, use the new icon here, the second one, to remove it. You may add masks to all the pictures selected in a spread. And of course, you may continue changing size and position of the images without affecting the mask. Also, clipart are available. Click at the clipart icon at bottom and drag your clipart from bottom into the design. Once there, use Shift or the icon to resize the clipart. You may rotate it. You may change the color. Transparency. And just drag to place it in a different position. To remove the clipart, please use the trash icon at the clipart contextual menu. Also, texts are available. Click at the text icon, input your text, and select a font for it. All texts are placed here at top left, but once there, you may drag it, change the size by pressing Shift and dragging or using the integrated loop, edit the text or the font, and of course, remove it. Let's apply a different layout to remove the masks, and I'll show you how to apply a stroke and a shadow. Please use this icon here and select the frame size and the shadow size. This can be done for one image or for all the selected in the spread. Just select them and then apply the frame and shadow. You may rotate images both in his own layer to correct horizontality or the whole image. For all the selected, use this option to rotate both layers at the same time. You may change the opacity of an image by selecting it and using the slider at top. And you may even use an image as background. Just click at the image in the bottom panel and then at the small icon here for background. This will set this image as a background for the spread. Now, to make it really visible, I would suggest changing the size of the other images. And then you can change the background opacity, and probably you want also to change hue and saturation. Okay. Let's remove now all these images from the spread and start with a new fresh design. If you activate the 3-2 mode, all layouts will have this mode. This means an image is with a fixed aspect ratio, the 3:2 aspect ratio. That this mode means that all images in the layout will be with a aspect ratio 3:2, 3 times height, 2 times wide, or 3 times wide and 2 times height. And if you try to change the size of an image, you can only do it by retaining the aspect ratio. Okay, let's go back to the grid mode. And we'll go to export, just correct this one. And we are going to export our spreads, our album, into JPG format. Select album, export to JPG, save, it's not done. Select the first and the last spread to export. We have 5 spreads only. Format, JPG or TIFF, and color management. I will select Adobe RGB because it's a bit more complete than sRGB. Click the target. I will select desktop for the files and click at export. In a few seconds, all spreads will be exported and you will find them ready here in your desktop. Here are the spreads ready for you. You may also export the spreads in PSD format to Photoshop, but you have to have Photoshop installed. Select Export to Photoshop from the main menu. Input the first and last spreads to be exported and select Photoshop version. Then click at Export. Please notice that this process will take some time, as Album TD needs to communicate with Photoshop to export them and to create all layers. Once it has finished, we may use Photoshop and open the spreads in PSD format. And you can see that all layers are here and the pictures, the images, are not cut out. They are complete. You may move them. You may change the size. You may even change the background color. Also independently for right and left through PSD files. Album TD also includes an option to create the whole album in automatic. Just select the images you want to include and at the main menu, Album, Auto Design Album. Input the number of spreads you want. Let's say we want 6 spreads. The gap distance between images and vertical or horizontal margin, just like with a new album, and click at OK. Album TD will arrange all images into these 6 spreads. This is automatic design. In grid mode, you can see our designs are ready. If you don't like one of the layouts, just click at it, select a different one, and ready. If you need to redesign one of the spreads, double click at it, and it will open in the main editor. And you can drag images, resize them, and finish your design. Easy. Here we are. Please notice that the contextual menu for images has an option to change images to black and white, sepia, and even block them from future changes. You may also change the Z order of an image. If this one is over another and you want it this, just click here at the Z order and put it over. Or for this one, easy. You may overlap images in album TD. Okay? And remember, it's easy to put a stroke and the shadow over your images. A nice design in a couple of seconds. To have masks, backgrounds, clipart and layout windows in different and separate panels. Then you can drag these panels into your second monitor for easier work. And of course, you may resize them. At the layout, you will find here our stars rating system. With this system, you can select which kind of layouts you want to view, with 3 stars, 2, 1, or any star. And there's a small red triangle here at the top, at the left top of the layout. This shows flipped, horizontally and vertically flipped designs. For example, normally there are 61 templates available for these 3 pictures, but with flipped ones, you can get a total of 193. Album TD allows to show or hide used images with this icon. In this case, we made an automatic design and all images was used. There is a preview when you hover the mouse over an image, and you can disable this option. You may sort images by EXIF date, the date picture was taken, or name. And you may add pictures by dragging them here or just selecting them with this option. At Preferences, you may select the units between centimeter or inches, language, if you want to hide a used image as a default, to place guides, these green guides here. Always preserve aspect ratio, always using mode 2:3. I don't recommend this setting. New spreads are panoramic. All designs are used for both sides. There is an option to have a virtual center and have different layouts for left and right. Disable help balance if they disturb you. And show preview layouts. This preview layouts option means that the true images are used for the preview here bottom instead of the gray options here. Adjusting layers to predefined album margin means that all layouts will keep this safe space. If a design like this is selected, it will rest assured that this line is inside the safe margin. And there is an option to use icon bars or right-click menu for the contextual menu, or you may have both. That means here, when you hover in image, you get this icon bar, but with the right click, you can get also a menu. And you may select an external image editor. The image editor allows you to set brightness and contrast, levels, hue and saturation, sharpen or smooth an image, and set level of highlights and shadows. Please notice that these settings will affect the original picture. Once you save it, it is saved into the original picture file because this is the file used for exporting the spread. Finally, let's speak about changing the album size. This option is available at Album, Edit Album. But please make sure to create a backup of the old album database. This database is located at the folder you have selected at the time of creating the album with your album file name. Once you have created the backup, you may input a new size for your album. Let's say we want a taller 1 by 16 for 10 inches instead of 16 by 8. Click at Save and Close, and all spreads in the album will change to accommodate for the new designs. Notice that in some spreads you may have to change the design. For example, maybe moving slightly this one here. You have to retouch manually some spreads, but all is done automatically and the new album size is ready.